Yes, yes. How are we all doing? Welcome back to another stream. I am live and direct with you fine people. How are we all? How the bloody hell are we? Yeah, thank you very much for joining. For those of you that have joined so far. Oh, I'll tell you what, I forgot to put it into the Discords. Am I really in Nigeria? No. Also, I think you're thinking of TMG, aren't you? I think you're thinking of TMG from his tweet yesterday. Am I right? No, I'm not in Nigeria, and neither is TMG. That tweet was so funny. No, yeah. Well, welcome to the stream, Crypto Ape. It's great to see you, mate. It's great to see you. Thank you very much for joining. I don't know if I've ever seen you in the chat before or not. If not, make sure you subscribe. Of course, drop a like. Everyone go drop a like. Yeah, go drop a like. But no, you're referring to this, aren't you? Let me pull it up. Hang on. Hang on. Being a bit slow. Come on now. Why is it being so slow? Here we go. Where is it? Unless you've just gone on to the... I don't even know how you see that. Like the about thing. Where is it? This one, weren't it? Yeah. They finally figured me out. Yeah. There he is. Yeah, no. He's TMG is actually who he says he is, but I don't even know how you see that about thing. Where is it? Block. Copy. Oh, about this account. Oh yeah, there it is. That's not. I don't think that's available on the app. No, he's not pretending to be someone that he's not. I mean, if you watch his videos, that would be insanely hard for someone to actually put that much effort into pretending to be someone that they're not, wouldn't it? If you watch his videos, you'll know he's exactly who he says he is. Buy some MSTR. What is that doing actually? I bet that's up quite nicely today, isn't it? I bet. Oh no, well, 2%. It's not actually up as much as I thought it would be, considering Bitcoin's had a decent push up over the weekend. What's Coin doing? Up 2.6, so a little bit more than MSTR. Circle up 2.2. That had a great push up, didn't it? From Friday. I mean, Friday on open. You know, this is looking like maybe the region of value there. What's Jemmy doing? Hardly moving. While we're looking at them, we'll have a look at a few more crypto-related stocks. Obviously, Bitmine. That's up 5% today. SBET, 1 point something. Yeah, I mean, they're not majorly moving, are they? But obviously, we need Bitcoin to maybe push a bit higher. But we are getting a nice push up on Bitcoin now. And I think, yeah, should bring some nice movement. Yeah, I'm optimistic about this week. And I'm optimistic about this run-in to the middle of December that we've got now. I'm thinking we could get a nice mean reversion towards the middle of November. The middle of December. Hello, Jeff. How we doing, my man? Great to see you, Jeff. Thank you for joining me, mate. Yeah, I'm all good, mate. I am all good. And obviously, I think in terms of Bitcoin itself, where is it? Come down. We've swept the Asia low. And as you can see, this has been quite pivotal to this lower time frame price action, hasn't it? Like, we dropped below it, and then obviously we've kind of been using it as low time frame support across there. So I think that's obviously a quite key thing. And we've obviously swiped that liquidity below. Personally, I'm expecting us to push up this week and next week and the first week or week and a half in December. Just depends on how fast it'll go. I'm looking towards 96, 97 and then reassess. Don't know about everyone else. What you guys thinking? Do let me know, of course, in the chat. But personally, that's what I'm looking for. Again, don't know how fast we'll get it. We may get like some sort of slow grind up if it's going to come. We may give it a little more oomph in some parts. But yeah, I think in general terms, to go up from here would make sense, even if we're going to carry on then down afterwards. I definitely think that is of the opinion that I am anyway. Now, we don't have a background on the hourly yet. This red one closed out yesterday, which was very nice in the end, wasn't it? From all the way up here, gave plenty of opportunity to get out down here as well if you wanted to. We did have a 1 hour red one that came in, which ended, but I'm waiting for that green 1 hour background to really give me some confidence that we're going to get a push up. I am long from Friday as well, from down here. So I'm long on Bitcoin and I'm long on Solana. And as you can see, yeah, that price action on the hourly is looking very nice. I think my strategy is going to be to follow Stonksy on the 1 hour with 3x for the remainder of the year. I'll update you in January. It's like, yeah, man, let me know. That'd be great. I think I may do something like that for a video as well. I think I may do something like that for a video where, yeah, I think that would make a really good video. Is like you actually just take not just what you want to take, or obviously like what you think you should take, obviously from what Stonksy's showing, but just following it every single one, no matter what. Because for something like this, for instance, when this went red just above 102, we then obviously got a snapback, didn't we, to 104, which most people probably may have not ridden through. But if you just obviously have some faith and belief, then it would have worked out absolutely fantastically, wouldn't it? And obviously avoided your longing too. And then this, same for this one. This one was great because it come in and it was just basically just never returned to entry. It was just down only. So I think that would make a fantastic video, to be honest. Yeah. But do let me know in the chat. What are you guys trading? What did you do late last week? What have you already done potentially this week? Do let me know in the chat. It'd be great to know. What are you guys long on? Where are you long from? If you want to share. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Where are you long on? If you want to share. And yeah. I'm liking the look. Yeah, I'm liking the look of Bitcoin up towards here. I think that would be really nice. Really nice place to come in towards. I'll just mark that out there. Yeah. So this will kind of be my zone. I'm going to give them a few. I've been a while since I've added some different colors on it as well. That is going to be kind of like my golden zone for either just taking profit or maybe even looking for shorts down. Of course, we get above there, then I think we're coming up towards 9900k. Of course, this will offer some form of resistance, but I don't think so because just plenty to run through to give it that spike. But yeah, that's what I'll be looking for, both on ETH and Solana. I will time my Solana exit alongside Bitcoin, and then go from there. But until then, whether it comes off or whether it doesn't, there's just not a lot to do. During times like this, if you've got good entries, or what you would consider a good entry, especially like if you got one anywhere in and around down here on Friday, then it's just patience in it. If you believe we're going to go higher, you'll be tested with patience like this. We were tested on Saturday, weren't we? Sunday we got a nice push up. We've pulled back a little bit, but I do expect that it's not going to go up as fast as we went down. So maybe you just need to have a little bit of patience. Yeah, little bit of patience. Bit of take that. Bit of take that. Tell you what, I was meant to get my Christmas tree out before as well on the desk. Shall we? I tell you, from the start of December, I think we should just have Christmas songs on in the background. How about that? Would everyone like that? I think we just have Christmas songs on in the background, and I suppose we could even do it now if you wanted to, but yeah, I mean that's what I'm thinking of Bitcoin. Yeah, Solana. I mean, exact same thing. Basically, I think Solana looks great because we're basically we slammed into high time frame demand, didn't we? You know, if you zoom out to the weekly chart, we just came into high time frame demand. So you know the odds are with you. And then if you look on a daily, we've had plenty of pin bars. You know, pin bars on Bitcoin, Solana, ETH, basically just pin bars all across the market. And you know, on a daily, I think obviously if you're looking on a daily, you may get some different outlooks. But what am I looking on for Solana? I think a push up to around 96, 97 on Bitcoin should basically bring us anywhere between kind of 150 and 160 on Solana, depending on, obviously, it's shown some good strength. But kind of, I think, based on trajectory, I think it would pull us into there. Now, if you were actually looking on the chart, obviously we can probably pinpoint something a little bit better on the 4 hour. I do want to see that red go off the daily too, but I think that will just on its own. But I mean, I think the 4 hour it's looking nice for a nice coiled run up. But I think up towards I think up towards 160 looks great. In towards the I mean, apart from that, then you know you've obviously got up here, haven't you? You've got up here. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Yeah, don't sell the bottom of relief. Don't sell the bottom. A relief rally is coming. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to get some relief. I think, depending on how good it is as well, I think we could. There is the potential for, obviously, if you're looking at like, I don't know if we'll get this before like kind of the middle of December in towards Christmas, because obviously typically from the middle of December into the new year, that's when things kind of, you know, really slow down. So we could just range or we could drop off or whatever. But I think depending on how strong it is, you could look at a relief. You could label a relief rally all the way up to 108. I think, in my opinion, kind of 105, 108 kind of area. In my eyes, that would still be class. You know, still be a relief rally, because I think we're obviously kind of looking high time frame out of momentum. I think. I don't know whether we'll be lucky enough to get that, because that would be kind of my favorite swing short position. But yeah, we'll see. I watched Home Alone this weekend. Still holds it down. I've been watching them for ages. I've been watching them since like the end of October, the start of November. I've watched the Grinch animated one so many times because my daughter loves it. But I've also I've watched Home Alone 1, Home Alone 2, Polar Express a good handful of times, if not more. What else watched? Arthur Christmas. Few other ones like that. I mean, what is the best? What do you reckon the best Christmas film is? What would you say is the best Christmas film? I was actually surprised, because I was thinking in my mind, like, what is that? I don't actually think there's that many good Christmas films. Yes, how we doing, my man? Great to see you. How are you doing? Yeah, welcome to the stream. If you've just joined, of course, make sure you do drop a like. If you are new, of course, subscribe as well. It'd be great to have you around often. But yeah, I don't actually think that there's that many Christmas films. I don't think there's that many good ones. Name your kind of like. I have a long sol position open at 125.9. What's the thoughts about it? I'm in from 126, so we're basically in from the same position. I mean, my thoughts is that I am just going to hold it. I'm just going to hold it. Whether it comes back to entry or not, I'm still going to hold it. It's my belief that we've put in a Bitcoin low, at least for now. So I don't know, like, you know, macro lows and local lows, obviously two different things. But it's my opinion that we've put in a low for seeing a relief rally. So I'm just holding. Really good entry. I know Wiz is in from 123 as well, he said last night. I'm jealous of that extra $3. But yeah, I'm just holding. I think during times like this, everyone wants the fast reversal, don't they? Because we come down so hard and so fast. Everyone wants it to go up as fast. But in reality, you just need to have patience, don't you? You just need to have patience, and hopefully, you know, we'll be rewarded for that patience. But yeah, I'm just doing nothing. You know, it's the hardest thing to do, isn't it, really? I mean, my entry is from 126, so could have been a little bit better. But there, I think, you know, in the grand scheme of things, zooming out, that is still a very good entry, in my opinion. Anyway, I think it's a very good entry, 126. And it may look an even better entry come the end of this week, next week, week after. But yeah, the hardest thing to do is nothing, you know, especially if you've got good entries. But yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm literally just going to be doing nothing and just not touching it and just letting it play out. So yeah. Yeah, really good entries. And a sniper, mate, sniper. Same for many others, of course. You know, tuition by Block Pro in the CSE Discord. Sniper entries. For me personally, not too bothered because I'm not really that fussed in trying to catch tops and bottoms when it comes to swing trading. You just basically just need to ride the trend, don't you? So, you know, if we get in the snow, we get back up to 160, whether I'm in from 126, 125, 124, 123, it won't really matter. Apart from just obviously a little bit of extra P&L, but really all I want to do is catch the move. Others, obviously, see it maybe as a bit of an art form. Obviously, you know, kind of sniper entries and stuff like that. But for me, just looking to catch the move. I got Stonksy 2 days ago. Still trying to fully understand it. Is there tutorials? There's plenty on the YouTube, mate. Yeah, there's so much on the YouTube, but you know, you can always ask anything in the Discord. Ask myself anything in the Discord. You know, fire away with anything that you need. Yeah. Obviously, for anyone that doesn't know, we are running 50% off Stonksy, so you can get that with code BLACK50 on the annual. So 50% off the annual. Hang on, what am I doing? Well, that's hang on. Let me just pin that. Do make sure you get your likes in as well. We're only on 7 likes. Only on 7 likes. Reliable from YouTube. I mean, I'd like to think so. I put them together. I put the videos together, mate. Yeah, so I'd like to think so. On the YouTube channel, there is a playlist called like best videos explainers or something. If you go on the playlist, you'll see it's like best videos and explainers or something like that. Cycle through them, but yeah, I mean, if you need any help, just drop it in the Discord servers. There's no shame in asking questions or anything. But yeah, I'm optimistic. Obviously, big key factor will be what does the US market do today? You know, are we going to get the ETF start to buy again? We're going to drive it back up a bit. Also, something to note this week is of course Thanksgiving in America. So the stock market is closed on Thursday and Friday. It's only a half day, so they only open the morning half. So the stock market's closed on Thursday and half of Friday. So it's a very, very short week for TradFi this week. So we could either get, you know, a really quiet kind of Thursday in towards next Monday potentially, or, of course, not solid ETFs that drive the market. Could we get some of the big players in crypto taking a chance to maybe move the market while TradFi is closed? It's going to be interesting to see. I thought it was from random people. No, it's from me, mate. The YouTube videos, they're all done by me. Yeah, all done by me. Random people, no, it's not random people. Everything on the Stonksy YouTube is put together by myself. But yeah, I think that's where we're up to on Bitcoin. 4 hour caught it very nicely as well. 4 hour caught it very, very nicely. But we want to see these close out. Hopefully, want to see these close out and show us some upside direction. Hopefully, but that's kind of my golden zone for this move. Is in towards 96, and then reassess from there. But that's that's what I'm looking at, and yeah, we'll see. Obviously, if we get it or not. So, if we move up, it would be one of the first Mondays to get a pump. Is that true? Well, obviously, when you break trend, you will break trend in a few ways, won't you? So, yeah, that would obviously be good. I'll be honest, I don't really pay attention to like days of the week, like what price actually comes on days of the week. I just always look at like what position the chart is in. But I didn't actually know that, so thank you very much for pointing that out. Mondays aren't usually good, are they? No. Okay. Bitcoin's pushing back up now. Oh, yes. Juicy. So we've got an hour to go until market open. I'm going to get the poll up as well. Let's get the poll up. Yeah. If there's anything that you want me to look at specifically, of course, just let me know in the chat. But I mean, you look at something like ETH, came into a very key level, didn't it? Where we had the retest of that range, and obviously, if we got back into it, would have done something like this, probably, just consolidated and compressed. But we didn't get that. We bounced exactly. We did drop a little bit below, but round about where we need to. Now, from here, get rid of that again. ETH. Where would we be looking on ETH? And again, depending on how much outperformance we get, may get this a bit quicker than Bitcoin 96k or whatever. But I think when you look at it like that, I mean, this area here just kind of, that is all just liquidity waiting to be swiped in. I mean, just look at all that. There was no clearance on the way down there at all. It was just like lower. That is all just waiting to be ran through. So I'm thinking liquidity wise up there, but I do think a push back in towards here would make sense, in towards kind of 3.4, 3.5. And again, that may be somewhat of a gift, but I am thinking that altcoins will start to outperform Bitcoin a bit more. Obviously, they have on the way down. A lot of altcoins didn't really fall off as much as they probably should have, which is a good sign. So hopefully on the way up, we get some big outperformance. I mean, from here to 96 on Bitcoin, 96, 97 is around about a 10% move. Hopefully, we get some 20, 25% on Solana and ETH potentially. Obviously others, especially in meme coins, maybe we see like 40, 50% even. And if we see what memes are doing now, look at Fartcoin. Oof, that was right. That came right into the zone, didn't it? That on Saturday. Didn't even know that was happening, but look at that, right into my zone. 20 down to 17-ish. Look at that sell-off. This is, bearing in mind, this is the 4-hour chart as well. Look how many red candles that was in a row. But I mean, what an opportunity that was. I missed that completely. I completely missed that. Oh, what a move. What a move. Yeah, I mean, apart from that, SPX again, come a bit lower. Yeah, I I do. Oh, look at rats. Jesus, what a pump and dump that was. Doge right into the zone as well. Look at that. Doge right into the zone. Bang. So everything is pushing up quite nicely. Everything is pushing up quite nicely. Again, it's just patience, in it. It's just have you got the patience to kind of just do nothing if you've got good entries. It's the hardest thing in it. It's just to do nothing and have patience, but it's also the easiest. The hardest and the easiest thing. It's the easiest because you don't have to do anything. It's the hardest because obviously mentally, you just want it to go back up fast. Sui, Pippin. Don't know what Pippin is. I'll have a look at Sui as well. Let's see. What, this thing? Oh, Jesus Christ. Wow. Hang on. Need to get my mouse out to zoom out on this thing. I mean, I'll be honest. This is just something that I would just never touch anyway. Like, you don't know how hard and how high this can scam pump. Obviously, you got that yesterday, haven't you? I mean, look at the absorption on that yesterday. That was crazy. I mean, yesterday, from the daily open to the top of there, it did 203%, but then came all the way back down and closed red. But personally, I just never would touch something like this because it's just not worth like my time or my risk. Because you just don't know how hard it could scam pump and obviously who's driving it. You can get some really killer entries on shorts on stuff like this. But obviously you want to kind of see like that blow off top and then distribution structure. But I mean, if you try, shorting something like this, that is obviously just having some sort of move for one reason or another. You may as well obviously just put it in the kind of the category of gambling. Because yes, on the chart, we can pick places on the chart where it looks like it would tail off. I wouldn't say we're there yet. There's plenty for this to potentially run through. If anything, you'd probably want to see it up towards like in here. In kind of towards there. But yeah, again, I mean, I just wouldn't touch it. Not saying that you can't, of course, you can. But we have endless things to trade, don't we? We have so many things to trade. Unless you wanted to gamble. Personally, I just wouldn't touch anything like that. Pippin linked to Bill Gates and Microsoft, I think. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know. I really don't know. I mean, yeah, you can have a little stab at it. You just obviously want to really manage your leverage because for something like that, even on like 3x leverage, that only gives you roughly 33% room, doesn't it? Before you get liquidated. Something like that could be a 1 minute candle. So, yeah, you just want to really, as long as you manage it, mate, easily manageable. Sui. Let's see. Where is Sui? Here it is. Yeah, I just think the way that things are forming and the structures on them. Now we didn't actually get as low as I wanted on Sui. I wanted it kind of down here, as you can see. But we did ultimately end up dropping out of this region, which obviously, as you can see on like a bigger time frame, is what I drew out. Was into here, and then if that doesn't hold, obviously down into there. But things like these on. You can see just on the 4 hour on something like this on Sui, like it looks obviously like it's coiling up quite nicely because it's tried to be pushed down more and it hasn't been pushed down more. It's come out of that 4-hour red background as well. I mean, what a trade down that was by Stonksy. Jesus. Look at that. 33%. Nice. Yeah. But something, I mean, these are just coiling up quite nicely, aren't they? Like, it's compressing. Volatility is drying up. And after such a sell, I mean, this thing has been in free fall basically since... I mean, it's actually been in a downtrend since July. Sui. If you actually look at it on the daily, Sui's been in a downtrend since July. Obviously, that's when the high come in. And then since then, all we've had is lower highs. You know, lower high, lower high, lower high. So it's actually been in a downtrend for a good couple of months. Obviously, really sped up from this point on. But, you know, you'd be surprised just obviously how fast things can turn. Like this could turn in the blink of an eye in retrospect, you know. But you could easily find us back into here faster than you'd think on something like Sui. Obviously needs Bitcoin to kind of kickstart it and give it, you know, give it some welly. But you could see it up there for sure, in my opinion anyway. Obviously hurdles along the way. I mean, even if you look at it on a 4-hour, you know, it's definitely putting in what I would consider a bottoming out pattern, unless Bitcoin goes to shit and we start getting new lows on Bitcoin. I would probably consider this a decent opportunity on Sui. And you know, we're obviously, I can't give financial advice or anything, but you know, if I was to long this, I would give myself some room, you know, in case it just came and retested the lows. And I would probably be looking for a move up in towards here. Again, you know, anywhere in and around this grey box. So, you know, maybe there, whatever. But that's, you know, that's a 5.5 hour trade almost. And that is probably what I would do. Yeah. So I think it looks good. Already shorting. Okay, well, mate, I hope you make some nice moolah from it. When we have enough people believing in the rally, we will continue going down with BTC. Yeah, and I think it's probably the complete opposite at the moment. I think it's the complete opposite at the moment, isn't it? Like, everyone is convinced that we're now in a bear market and we're going to go lower. Even people that were kind of bullish, like, from obviously towards the tops, but in that range and all the way down. And then it's kind of reached a point where I would consider obviously capitulation. Sentiment-wise, like, I don't think I've ever seen, even like after FTX, I don't think the timeline was as bearish as what I was reading on there from the back of last week. So it would just be the funniest thing ever if it just gave a dirty, like, relief rally. Again, how high obviously remains to be seen, but I think 96k is kind of like a first port of call, and then maybe, you know, dip back down to put in some sort of higher low, and then maybe kind of full steam roll up towards 105, 108. I think it's definitely possible. And that kind of would obviously just melt people's minds, because everyone now is in kind of like a, you know, full certainty that we're going lower, full certainty we're in a bear market, quote unquote. Or just, you know, full certainty we're going to get 74k. Imagine how many bids would be left unfilled, and how many people would be left chasing the move if we didn't get the 74k before we saw a relief rally, and we just relief rallied from where we bottomed on Friday. But yeah, I think, I mean, I may even go and take this myself. I don't know. I may even go and take this myself. I'm not sure. Again, it's not financial advice. Nothing on the stream is financial advice. There's a big fat disclaimer in the description too if you want to read it. But I think risk reward wise, something like this is there. So yeah, we will see. We will definitely see. What's Bitcoin doing? Yeah, so pushing up quite nicely. I mean, we've wicked the Asia low, found some solid low time frame support, so it's setting up quite nicely again. What mood are the ETFs going to be in? We'll have to see, won't we? But yeah, I'm fancying all sorts of stuff. To be fair, I mean, I'm already in on Solana, already in on Bitcoin. There are other things that are taking my fancy. I mean, yes, I think Sui is looking nice. I won't lie. Like, the fact that it's just not moved yet as well. Like, the fact that it's just not moved is very, very interesting. So I am definitely intrigued by that. Yeah, if I do say so myself. But yeah, you guys let me know. You know, what are you looking at? I am actually looking at Sui, to be fair. I may even take that trade. 125. Yeah. So yeah, I am looking at Sui, to be fair. Afternoon. Hey, here he is, the main man, Gary. Do make sure you drop a like if you haven't dropped the like, of course. It does help the stream out. I have a setup entry at 131. Or even, I can't remember what it was at. What was it? Yeah, so you're looking a bit lower. Again, for me, it's oh, right. Okay, so you're looking kind of for a sweep of the low. You're looking basically for a sweep of the low. Yeah. Possible. Definitely possible. Definitely possible. Sui. Yeah. I think the market's just coiling up quite nice. I mean, if we look at liquidation levels as well, you'll see, obviously, if you like to look at this type of thing, it's basically just lining up with an upwards theory and trajectory. You know, it lines up nicely with the chart. Obviously, a nice liquidity above yesterday's high, or today, whenever this came in. And then, of course, up to that kind of like 95, 96, 97 area. I think kind of we bled the liquidity to the downside dry in terms of the current move. You know, look at that. Up to, yeah, there you go, 97, 2-week time frame, 97, bang. That would just pinpoint it beautifully. And then from there, yeah, I think, we'll probably maybe retrace a bit and then come find our footing some lower down. So, something like, again, not time-based, but obviously moving up into here. And then I would expect, obviously, some profit taking, sell-off. It may even sweep. Yeah, it may sweep 97 and then kind of down. Maybe this is kind of creating us a nice base or something, but I would then expect, just anywhere some sort of low and then something like that. That would be kind of the ideal scenario, and what I'd be looking for as well. Take profits on everything up here and then rebid. Maybe try a short, I don't know, or just wait to rebid. Obviously, we'll get a better idea of where we would be looking to rebid once the move actually plays out, so we can see what sort of structure's in there. But kind of, very loosely, that would kind of be my idea. Maybe it doesn't give a pullback that deep. Who knows? Depending on how strong the move is. Maybe it would retest the yearly open, and maybe just that would be it. Just have to see. But yeah. Hugo is short from 87,500. Very nice, mate. Very nice. What's your target? Where are you looking for TP? Or have you already hit some? May get a decent flush down on US Open. What's the poll saying? 50-50 at the moment. Make sure you go vote on the poll. 50-50 at the moment, so we don't have a winner yet. We do not have a winner. 83,500 as it is weekend liquidity. Yeah, I mean, we'll see, won't we? We'll see. So you're thinking of retrace it all the way down there. Take out the Saturday low. Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, I mean, as far as other altcoins, hype got absolutely slammed, didn't it? Like, this thing got slammed on Friday, and then again Saturday was brutal. But this thing kind of like didn't do anything. So the whole time Bitcoin was selling off, as you can see, like this was all the way through November. Like end of October, it did have a pull down, but then all through November, while Bitcoin and everything else was getting slammed, hype just didn't do anything. And then obviously the move then came afterwards, just got absolutely slammed on Friday, and then obviously same on Saturday. Came down into here. I mean, personally on hype, I don't really see any kind of like, I'm not desperate to try and get in this, especially after, obviously a move like that. I mean, that box can definitely be drawn a bit better now. But I mean, my overall idea is kind of like $25. Just have to see what forms out. I mean, it may even come back down to 20. I mean, that's not that impossible. Back down to 20. I mean, that would be, what would that be then? Let's see. 65% down. Yeah. And that would also fill in the wick. That would also fill in the wick, wouldn't it, from the 10th of October? So maybe hype just kind of bleeds on its own. yeah, there we go. Hype. We do have just under 40 minutes to go until US Open now. Have we got any interesting stories coming? Obviously, there was that whole X region league. Well, not league, but add-on, wasn't there? What did everyone make of that? Where you could just see, obviously, where any old account was created from and obviously like downloaded from on the App Store. That was fairly interesting, wasn't it? Monad goes live today, so this is going to be a new one for us to look at, a new ticker. When's it live? It launches today with high-speed EVM chain, heavy token locks, and a highly anticipated Coinbase sale. Mon goes live. I wonder what time it goes live or if it's already live. 50.6% of the token supply is locked at launch, tightening circulating supply. Aiming to deliver 10,000 transactions per second, EVM compatible layer 1. I don't think I've got any of this, I'll be honest. I don't think I checked a lot of wallets and I didn't qualify for really anything. Did anyone else qualify for anything? I don't think I really qualified for anything on that, which is frustrating. I don't know if it's live or not. Let's see. It is. No. This isn't the same one, is it? Of course, obviously. Or is it? No, yeah. Unless this is I know you could trade it before launch on Hyperliquid. I don't know if you could do it on the same on there. Let's see. I don't know if it's live yet or not. Monad. Okay, so it literally just went live 54 minutes ago. Is that right? Let's see, where is it on? Oh, so it's only on Coinbase. It's only on Coinbase. That's it. Strange. Okay, so that's clearly not it. That's clearly not it then, is it? Let's see if we can get it up. Coinbase, no. We'll wait for it to come up anyway. But yeah, it looks like Monad is live. So for anyone that qualified for the airdrop, should have some pennies there. Hopefully more than pennies, but yeah, I didn't get jack all. You could have shorted this on Hyperliquid as well, like pre-launch. Like I had pre-launch like perps on it. It was pretty mad. I wonder what would have been the payoff on that. Let's go and pull up Hyperliquid. How's Pump doing? We'll have a look. I think it's been pretty brutalized though. Let's see. Start trading. Come on. Right, here we go. Let's see. Mon. Pre-launch. Here. Yeah, so this is so obviously you could trade this pre-launch on Hyperliquid. Actually, when it first went out, that would have oh my god, what oh, imagine that. Imagine just shorting it anywhere in and around there in the first kind of like day or so. Like you've already netted 77%. That was a dirty liquidation candle, weren't it? Look at that. What a dirty liquidation candle that is. But yeah, I mean, this thing, I'll be honest, like, a whole lot of fuss has been made about it, I think, kind of like marketing-wise and stuff like that. Again, is it just going to be another one of these kind of things where it's just pure vaporware and not even really that needed? But We'll see. But it's going to be interesting to see how the price action unfolds. Pump. Pump's actually like came into like the lower bound. I'll be honest. On Friday we got a good ping, as you can see. Basically, it just pinged right off the upper of my zone I marked on. Just melted. Got a good reaction from this bit. Obviously pulled back up there, then rejected from SR and sold off. But this is kind of obviously like do or die really for Pump, because of you go below there and then you're just into like price discovery to the downside. Now, technically, obviously you have really good risk reward here, technically, because we only have 12%ish until the all-time low. Obviously, minus that candle. It would be, imagine if that candle was like a magnet though, like another 43% down would be wild. In terms of like risk reward, obviously kind of it is there, but you obviously you have to really watch out that if it starts going into price discovery to the downside, that you don't just keep holding it hoping that it recovers, because the probability is that, if we did get below there, then that really does kind of look like a magnet then, doesn't it? But as it stands, it's putting in just a kind of a retest of demand, and obviously where demand come in. So, I think PAL AI has finally bottomed, been a tough journey. God, I fumbled that so hard, Jimmy. I fumbled that so hard. So I bought that in September 2023. And firstly, I didn't put anywhere near enough in as I should. But then I fumbled it like for a couple of X, because I actually gained a lot from their interest rate, because at the start they were paying really good interest rates. And I gained a lot of that before they cut it down. But I fumbled that so hard. If I'd have put more in that instead of other things and then just held it, that would have been, oh my God. No, that is actually wild. That's not even the full chart. That's not the full chart, that. Hang on. What has the full chart? KuCoin, maybe? Even that doesn't have the full chart. This thing went up to 80 cents. This thing went up to 80 cents. Be able to get it on Deck Screener. Let me go get it on Deck Screener. Hang on. The fact that... No, wait. Which one? Why is there so many of them? No, right, that's on Solana. That's not it, is it? Is it this one on ETH? It is, isn't it? 2 years. Yeah, this one, yeah. Holy hell. Yeah, I remember when this thing first came out, and I'll show you on the chart exactly where I bought. You see, I've already got levels on it. Yeah, I fumbled this. Honestly, I can't even tell you, begin to tell you how badly I fumbled this, and how much, if I'd have allocated more into this than other areas. So I remember when this first launched, and then when it got this pullback here, I bought a lot of on-chain stuff here. This was obviously on just fully on-chain at the time, I think. And I bought a lot of it there. But I ended up selling it for a couple of X. So I bought it there for 1.6, and I ended up selling it probably here, and I can't remember exactly where, but it was probably somewhere in and around here. And then, of course, it went on to 80 cents. Where had I have obviously allocated a bit more and held that, I can't remember my entry. Let's just say it was 2 cents. Obviously, that's towards the top, but I wouldn't have. But I could have easily got a 20x if I'd have just held. Yeah, crazy. But yeah, I remember this thing. That is all the way back to kind of the starting point in it. What has happened to it? Why has it fell off so much? Is it just because AI really isn't a a factor anymore. Like, it's not that much of a. I mean, yeah, you know, on the chart. Horizon over. I mean, it's nearly there, isn't it? It's nearly there. May not even test that, to be fair. That kind of like may have been it. Yeah. But I mean, wild. I mean, it's still got a lot of liquidity, so it's obviously not being rugged or anything. You know, there's a lot of liquidity locked in it. So it's just had kind of it looks like it's just had a really, really tough time. But I mean, risk reward wise, you know, is it there? I don't know. But yeah, I mean that haunted me. That my custard hands on that. Wow, that haunted me big time. Which source is the best to look at charts on Stonksy Binance? Just yeah, I mean, I'll be honest. They obviously differ in some way, exchange to exchange. If there is a Binance chart, obviously that will likely have the most volume on it. So yeah, just use Binance chart or a Bybit chart or a KuCoin chart, whatever. Obviously depending on like how new it is as well. Obviously, like if something's not long been on Binance, you won't get that much data for it. And you can use like generally it doesn't really matter as long as it's showing like, you know, good movement on the chart, it's fine. But typically, yeah, I mean, I use Binance charts, or if I want, obviously, like as much data as possible. If it's say like a low cap altcoin that someone wants me to look at or whatever, most of the time I'll use one where I know probably it was on there first. But I mean, yeah, stuff for like Bitcoin. I mean, Bitcoin and that doesn't really matter too much. I mean, look at all these ones I've got. So the first one I've got is the index. So I've got the index, and then obviously got Binance, KuCoin, Bybit, and OKX. Solana is the actual index for Solana. Ethereum is Binance, XRP Binance, Hype KuCoin, BNB Binance, obviously. ZEC is the index. Doge, Binance, yeah. I mean, most of the volume is obviously on Binance, so. Yeah, but, God, yeah, I can't believe that about Paul. Jesus. Wild. You've been DCA, so just need a small pump and I'm good. Yeah, nice, man. Nice. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that haunted me. That haunted me for not holding on to that. But yeah, we do have US Open in 25 minutes. So if you haven't, please do drop a like. Of course, your first time here, subscribe. We do have big 50% off Stonksy as well at the moment. So, you know, if you've been watching the streams and, you know, you've been thinking about getting Stonksy or you've been wanting to get Stonksy and haven't, we do have 50% off the annual plan for Black Friday. So this will obviously be running until the end of the week. But yeah, we are running a 50% off. So obviously the biggest sale that you'll ever see on Stonksy. But you can get a whole year access for under £500 because obviously it takes 50% off the annual cost, and it's code BLACK50. So yeah, code BLACK50 at checkouts on the website. The website is in the description. So if you do want to join Stonksy, of course, now is the time to do that while the deal's on. And again, you know, that's a full year as well, full year of access to everything. I am just going to go to the toilet though, so I'll be back in a few minutes. Let me put the message on as usual. And then, yeah, we'll be back obviously for US Open and see kind of what price action we're getting on Bitcoin. We're selling off as we go into Open so far. So that is the past kind of 20 minutes or so. So we'll see what happens from there. But yeah, don't go anywhere. I'll be back. Have a little break yourselves. And yeah. Right, we're back. I've had to put my hoodie on. It's a little bit cold. Jeff says, would you have actually held it that long? No. Well, I assume you're probably talking about PAL. No, I wouldn't have held it to the top. No way. But I should have. From where I bought in, I should have ended up with more than I did. I was just impatient with it and rolled it into something else. Took the profits and rolled it into something else. When in reality, that was obviously like a gold mine, weren't it? But you live and learn. Yeah, Bitcoin came back down on it. It's came back down and kind of just retested this low time frame area where we've been holding up so far for the past kind of 5 hours. With US Open coming in 15 minutes, I'm going to close out that poll. Let's see. Have we got a definitive winner on the poll? Oh, down just. Oh no, 50-50. There you go. We haven't had that in a while. First time I've had 50-50 in a while. So people are feeling bullish and bearish. If you haven't liked, please do drop a like. We've got 12 likes, 19 viewers. I'd really love it if we could get to the actual viewer count for likes. That would be super. But yeah, that's what we've got in terms of votes. So yeah. Bitcoin weekly outlook, key levels, def cross, and macro data to watch. Def cross. The def cross. I never really pay attention to stuff like that. You also find as well with stuff like that, like the moves happened well in advance before that kind of thing happens. But yeah, I think it'll be really interesting to see what happens today. Like what kind of tone gets set for the week. What kind of tone do we have for the rest of the week now? Obviously, I think at the moment we could get. I mean, personally, I wouldn't like to see all the way back down there. Doesn't mean it's not going to happen, just because I don't like it. But I wouldn't like to see it back down there. I think that is definitely an area of liquidity that may get taken. That just swing low there. Swung down yesterday at 7 o'clock. That may get taken. And then obviously, yeah, you're into kind of like the rest of the week MPA then. But personally, I would like the market to show that it's strong and maybe shaking off, obviously, that grip that sellers had on the market. That's what I would like. Because it would give me confidence then, obviously, that my idea that we're going to go higher in the next 2 to 3 weeks is on point. Obviously, if the market continues to show weakness, then maybe I'm not thinking the right thing. So I would like the market to show its hand. Let's see, where are we on the daily and stuff for the oscillator? So that's been flatlined for ages, hasn't it? Oh, we did have a green arrow come in as well. Obviously a little bit higher than where we are now and where we dropped to. Where's the oscillator on a lot of these things? So the green's ticking up. Yeah, that caught the move nicely there. About in terms of a weekly, it's only just rolling over on the weekly for the oscillator. Only just rolling over, but that has been obviously in the upper bound for ages. It's just super high time frame in it. Yeah, we've got US Open coming at us in 13 minutes, and also I think we've got some data this week as well. I'll have a look at that next. I have become obsessed with ramen as well recently. I've become obsessed with ramen. Over the weekend, I went out and bought a proper ramen bowl. Loads and loads of ramen ingredients, like enough ramen for probably about 2 to 3 weeks worth. I was eating it nearly every day. Obviously making it all from scratch as well with like chicken broth and beef broth. But all the ingredients to like flavour it nicely. Tonight, I'm actually going to make a bit of a different. Oh no, I'm not doing that tonight. When will it be? I'll next be having ramen on Wednesday. Wednesday, I'm going to make a coconut and peanut butter ramen. Any chance of ETH pulling back to 2670? Let's see. I mean, there's always a chance. There's always a chance of anything. So, well, you're thinking all the way down here, basically there. I mean, there's always a chance. There's definitely always a chance. I mean, personally, I wouldn't like to see it, because obviously from that standpoint, you probably see, obviously in equal to structure, obviously that puts Bitcoin back at 82k. Personally, I wouldn't like to see it, but that's just obviously me being biased because I'm obviously looking for upside. But if we're just speaking on the chart, I mean, there's always a chance, isn't there? There's a chance for everything. It's just obviously the probability of that chance. Now, you would have to obviously have Bitcoin catalyze it, wouldn't you? So you would have to have Bitcoin obviously take a strong pullback. And depending on obviously how strong ETH was, obviously at the moment, ETH is 1% up against Bitcoin today. So you don't kind of know, obviously, where Bitcoin would have to pull back to get ETH down there, because obviously it will be Bitcoin that would drive ETH down there in that scenario. So maybe Bitcoin would come back towards the same structure. Maybe Bitcoin would have to come and sweep this low. You just don't know, do you? But there's always a chance, yeah? I mean, there's always a chance, but I personally wouldn't want to see that in terms of me looking for a bullish, me looking for strength in the market. But yeah, there's always a chance of anything. There's a chance for anything, and it's just obviously like the probability of that chance. Now, yeah, I mean, in my eyes, I look at that and you just think, obviously, you would need Bitcoin to pull back again to get ETH back down there, which is just obviously common sense, isn't it? Yeah, we'd need Bitcoin to pull back, maybe to 81, 82, maybe to new local lows. But this is obviously one reason as to why I would obviously like to see up, is because I know you're obviously already long on some things, Barros, but also, there's a lot of people that haven't been filled yet. There's a lot of people that haven't been filled that are obviously waiting for maybe another lower level. So obviously maybe this area here, I assume a lot of people are waiting for. It would be really interesting, obviously, if it just didn't give that, because it would leave a lot of people unfilled and then obviously leave chasing the move. And you'd probably get some of them people obviously driving the price up into here from FOMO. And then that would obviously be my trigger to short it back down potentially. But that, that's all just completely obviously selfish reasons, because I'm obviously currently higher bias. So yeah, doesn't necessarily mean that it's right. I think a sweep to the downside before a significant pump is very possible, since we've been building up pretty slowly. Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah. What I would say about the building up very slowly is perfectly normal after such a wipeout. We was never going to see a V reversal. You're never ever going to see a V reversal on a move like that. It will take time to go back up. So we probably actually do just build up slowly. I mean, we maybe get like a couple of days where we get a couple of K candle. If we could get obviously a sizable move one day, that would be good. But you need, after a complete wipeout like we had, you need time to build back up. You're never gonna get a V reversal unless it's literally just like a liquidation. I mean, you look at the last time, obviously we was kind of in and around this position, weren't we? You know, obviously at first we bottomed here, didn't we? At 76, 7, and then we bounced back up to 89. So that in itself is obviously a 13k move. Anything similar from there would obviously put us back towards the yearly open in terms of mirroring the move. And then, of course, we come back down, didn't we, for one more sweep and then the low and then build back. But, I mean, even if you look at, you know, the response back on this, we didn't V-reversal this all that quickly, did we? You know, you had, obviously, bottom and then push up initially. That was a good response. And then, you know, compression in there for about a week. And then we got some drive, you know, big candles there. But then again, you know, compression. I think there's a chance where, you know, you could fill in up towards here, maybe fast. But then, yeah, I don't think we would get kind of like, we're not going to do this, basically. It's going to take time, innit? You need to, essentially, what you need to do is, you obviously, as well, there's so much upside liquidity, but people will be obviously aggressively shorting any sort of upside push. So you need to see the volume come in for upside. Yeah, I missed that entry at 2620 on the wick. Sorry, long E from 2777. So it would be better to go up. Yeah, I mean the thing is, you also need to be able to like kind of switch your bias, don't it? Like at the moment, I have room on my entries. I've got a decent amount of room relative to obviously where the market's at. But pull back, obviously, down towards kind of like 82-ish would put me back to kind of square one on all my trades. So then from that standpoint, you obviously have to look at price action and go, right, okay, am I actually right on this trade? Or am I just being completely like just biased with rose-tinted glasses on? Obviously, having Stonksy really helps you fight your corner because you can remove that bias with Stonksy. You know, you look at that, just traded all the way down. Just insane. We've got 5 minutes to go. So quite interested to see if this zone keeps on being defended. Whether we wick it, perhaps. Maybe we even wick that hourly candle that I outlined there. Or do we simply just go up from here? What do you think the path of most pain is from here? What do you think the path of most pain is from here? Path of most pain, I think, is up. Because people would just be so mad. How much more the Bears are going to get away with that? Well, this is the thing, innit? Just like the market is just building liquidity. There is a reason that if you go to the daily, there's a reason that actually, if you go to the 4 hour, there's a reason that all this was left behind. You know, it's not by mistake. All this was left behind in terms of, if we go on and, you know, you look at all this untapped liquidity. Have we tapped that? No, maybe we've tapped that on some exchange, but at the moment we haven't even tapped that one. There's a reason that this is all left behind, and you know it's the same for obviously like when you're going up. You know, if you look at when we were going up, you can see obviously just all this was left behind. You know, look, like all that was left behind there. All that was left behind until we got that push down. You know, all this was left behind here, and then obviously we just began to range. But as you can see for the left, that was all just taken during this move here, just all completely done. So there's a reason that that's all, you know, all left is because it's good fuel for obviously when price actually starts pushing back up. And it's good markers for where price is drawn to. But you are right, yeah. I mean, literally every bounce for the past 3 weeks, you could have shorted and obviously got away with it. So at some point, you know, we will get a strong reaction to the upside. It's just when. It's just when, you know, when will we get the kind of the confirmed shift in trend? Because at the moment, I won't be obviously blind to it. At the moment, all we've done is put in another lower high, haven't we? You know, at the moment, all we've done is put in another lower high. We haven't really kind of changed anything at the moment. We've just put in another rounded top like we have done all the way down. So you obviously need to kind of break that, and obviously the market to show us strength in the fact that this isn't just a weekend scam pump and then we're going to continue all the way back down and maybe to new lows. You need to see that conditions have changed short term, at least anyway, and maybe from here, maybe from somewhere lower, you know, doesn't really matter. But obviously at some point then you break that high that we've created here, and then obviously then you've got confidence in, right, okay, the market doesn't look like it's setting lower highs anymore. And then you go and target obviously the ones that are all waiting to be taken. But yeah, we've got US Open coming at us in 30 seconds. So get the S&P on. What's the S&P even doing today? I haven't looked at it. Yeah. Let's get that on. Bitcoin, yeah, kind of screwing around in it. Yeah, got the S&P on. S&P's up 0.5% in futures. And we have got US Open right about now. There we go. So the market is open. Now what are we going to get from here is the question. Nice push up initially. Anyway, nice push up initially. Want to see a strong day, ideally. Obviously, with this week being a short week because the stock market is closed on Thursday and we only have a half day on Friday. We want to see kind of a strong run up into that because obviously we won't have any ETF action on Thursday and a half a day of ETF action on Friday. So we want to kind of see him do some work leading into that closure if we can. But yeah, the S&P is moving up quite nicely. Yeah, nice move up on the S&P. Very nice. So obviously this is the 1 minute chart, this is the 5 minute chart for comparison. But yeah, very, very nice kind of like out the gates push from Bitcoin so far. Very nice indeed. As you can see, MSTR, MicroStrategy is not really that up. Not really that up. Oh, I just spilled coffee all over me. God damn it. Yeah, come on. Come on, Bitcoin. Get a proper push. Come on. Let's have a proper squeeze. Go after them shorts. Give us some solid price action. Nice push up though to start with. Nice push up to start with. What we want is obviously it to last a session now. We want it to last a session, don't we? But the S&P is having a nice, that's up about another 0.3% since open. So the S&P is showing some nice movement. Nicely up. Can we get some follow through on Bitcoin now? I mean, it would be nice. It would definitely be nice. What else have we got going on? We've got Solana up just over 1%. Solana not really doing much today. ETH, however, is doing better, up 1.25%. So ETH is quite shining quite nicely today. What else we got? XRP up 2%. ZEC down 4%. That's just kind of in a league of its own, innit? You don't really. That's not attached to the market in any sort of form. Pump up almost 6%. So we covered Pump, didn't we, just before? Anything else really moving in the market that much? Doesn't seem like it, does it? Borg down 5%. Bake up 14%. Got anything else? I've seen a little bit of a fuss being made about BAT. Not really looked into it myself though. I do remember it from last cycle, basic attention token. If it's the same one anyway. I need to clear out this watch list though. It's looking very messy. There's a lot of stuff on there that needs clearing out. But yeah, there you go. There's Bitcoin. There goes Bitcoin with the follow through. And the S&P is roaring now. We're nearly up. We're up another 0.4% since open on the S&P. So the S&P is roaring. You know, if we can get a strong rally on the S&P going into the end of the year, that gives basically all the room that you need for Bitcoin to do the same. As long as conditions remain good on the stock side of things, Bitcoin has that kind of release valve of pressure. Obviously, something that was adding to the fuel last week was the fact that the S&P was dumping as well. But yeah, this is moving nicely. Very, very nicely. Get JP out. Why? What's happened? What's Powell said now? What's Powell said or done now? Yeah, look at the Mon chart. Yeah. What's he said now? Has he said something recently, or you just want him out anyway? Oh, JP Morgan. Sorry, I thought you meant Jerome Powell. Oversized short on MSTR. Where from? Where from? Where are they short from? Do you know? I mean, if it's from up towards the top, then obviously really good decision because it's been hammered on it. Depending on obviously where they're short from. I can't imagine it's like within the last few days. Bitcoin now, yeah, really retracing that US Open pump that we got. That is quite a nasty retrace there. Oof. Yeah, there we go. Back down towards 86k now. That is nasty. So we continue to consolidate on the low time frame. Not sure through the grapevine, but I heard if Bitcoin rallies 50%, JP is done. You would imagine that they'd cover themselves in some sort of way. You got to remember that, like, JP Morgan is obviously attached to BlackRock. BlackRock has serious control over the Bitcoin price too. I think, if anything, that's probably all smoke and mirrors, and something that probably doesn't really matter too much, in my opinion. Anyway, I think all that is probably just kind of like a big circus kind of show. But I mean, if Bitcoin rallies 50% from here, that would take it back towards kind of like the 120s, wouldn't it? Back in towards the 120s. Some point, you would imagine, obviously, MSTR gets a good bounce, but even with that Bitcoin bounce over the weekend, it's not really done anything, MSTR, has it? We didn't quite clear the CME gap, so maybe not down to 85,500 on perps, then move up. Potentially, yeah. I mean, that lines up, obviously, with this low that I've got marked out here. That low looks quite precarious. Got marked out on the chart there. Where is the CME gap? I haven't even looked. Yeah, so kind of like in and around the same area, yeah. I think we need to go down a little bit lower on exchanges, wouldn't we, to tag that? I think we'd need to hit like maybe like 85k, maybe 84,000, high 84,000 to tag that, because obviously there's still a premium in there on. Oh no, there's not. No, there's not anymore. That's actually interesting. There's no premium on the CME anymore. While we was up above 100k and stuff like that, there was always a premium of a couple of $100 at least on the CME compared to obviously on exchanges, where I know this is obviously 10 minutes behind, but it doesn't seem like there's really that much of a discrepancy anymore. We are looking like we're going to move to take out some further downside though. The S&P now is retracing that initial pump that it had on open. Obviously, Bitcoin's having some sell pressure come in. So we'll see what we get from here on out on that. Yeah, I missed that last little red candle. Yeah, so it seems kind of like down towards there, which looking like is what obviously maybe what we're moving on now. Maybe this is what we're moving on now. Either that, or maybe, yeah, maybe, okay. Yeah, I think we're in for some chop, particularly obviously after last week. You got to remember, obviously, we've moved up over the weekend. So I think we're probably in for some chop, and yeah, like you say, James, kind of a bit of screwing around. But I think once it gets its footing, we should set a nice kind of bit of momentum for the week, whether that be up or down, of course. My bias is up, but obviously if we don't show strength, then I'll have no choice but to make other plans. But currently we've got no background on the hourly, which is interesting. I'm wanting to see a green one come in soon, which would signal some good times, hopefully. But yeah, the S&P is pushing back up now. Again, this is only the 1 minute chart on the S&P. We can go back to just the singular chart now too after open. That is like proper wreckage candle, that, innit? Liquidated the upside, liquidated almost all the downside. We left that wick behind, but as proper low time frame wreckage. Hello, good afternoon, Florin. Good afternoon, Stonkers. Yeah, make sure if you haven't, drop a like on the stream. Scroll down, hit the like button. My ETH and Sol are holding up. Bitcoin drop down. Yeah, I think, yeah, this is something that I was noticing last week, was that altcoins were holding up better. But yeah, Florin, like Florin says, come on, guys, like the stream. Of course, if you've been looking at Stonksy as well, and you've been wanting to get it, there is never a better time than now, because we've got 50% off the annual plan. 50, which obviously takes it down to under £500 for the full year, because it's originally $999. So obviously 50% off will take it just under 500. And yeah, that is obviously 50 code BLACK50 at checkout on the annual plan. Link to the website is in the description. And yeah, come check it out. Obviously, come grab your membership while you can. You know, it's a fantastic whole year of access. Whole year. So yeah, we are heading back down to the downside now on Bitcoin. Should make it a really interesting day. This should make a really interesting day. Yeah, I mean, if you look at a lot of them, obviously Sol had a good push up there, but Sol for the time being, anyway, is obviously holding up better than Bitcoin. ETH holding up better than Bitcoin, which obviously does show what we said that we talked about last week, and obviously what dominance is showing is that dominance is falling, which is a good thing, because if we can get some sort of strong rally and reversal, then altcoins are set to outperform, and we are getting a chase down now on Bitcoin. We're getting a chase down. Let's see the reaction at this wick, but we should now, obviously, once the CME catches up with a 10-minute delay, we should be working on filling this now for sure. We should be really working on filling this. So then that will be done. And we'll have come down, obviously erased basically all of the Sunday move as well. If you actually look, Sunday, first candle started there at 85k. We'll have basically erased all of that move. Where is the CME gap? So on the CME exchange, it is 85,250. Now, on actual exchanges, obviously that can differ a lot. You know, that can differ and change a lot on actual exchanges, because there is obviously a price discrepancy between the CME and actual exchanges. Actually, I don't know. So 10 minutes ago, that was at 86,600. Let's see what we was at there. Yeah, so I think it's kind of looking around about bang on. Like there's no discrepancy really anymore. For the longest time, we've had like a couple of $100 premium on the CME. But as you can see, 10 minutes ago, we was at 86,560 on the CME. Which basically, you know, kind of pulls up into the same area that we got the spike on Bitcoin there. So there may actually be no difference now, which means pretty much we'd need the same level on Bitcoin. Now you can see 85,250. We did fill. We filled a lot of it, you know, apart from $250. So we're not too far away from filling that, and then of course we fill that. If we don't get any reaction from there, then we'll obviously see where we're looking on the chart. But yeah, if you are looking for anywhere to trade, of course, jump on BLOFIN. Jump on BLOFIN. Non-KYC account. Obviously, you can trade whatever you want on there too. And that is there. Of course, you get yourself some nice welcome and deposit bonuses with BLOFIN too. 85,550 was my bid order on Bitcoin just then. So I reckon most of the CME gap is now filled, and now I will become a billionaire when Bitcoin rockets to 300k overnight. Oh, mate, what a plan that is. What a plan that is. Yeah, let's see what we can get though. I mean, ultimately, it would be good to set some sort of higher low, wherever that be on the chart. Which obviously starts on the 1 hour, doesn't it? But then, you know, you move on to a higher time frame for that. But I mean, lower time frame, you know, can we set some sort of wherever it comes in, can we set some sort of higher low, and then go on to obviously fully break market structure, and then we know that we're on. Then until then, we're kind of just obviously living in the theory, aren't we, and the bias and the plan rather than actual data, because technically all we've done is obviously put in a lower high, because we didn't actually break anything. That's definitely not a lower high. That doesn't count as a lower high. We need to come up and obviously target these. But first off, obviously we will put in kind of a low, potential high, but then we'd obviously solidify that by putting in a higher low and then a higher high somewhere up here. So let's see if we can do that, or if we can't do that. Obviously, if we can't do that, then we're stuck obviously hanging around these levels, aren't we? Nearly at that wick now. We are ever so close. We're ever so close, aren't we? There we go. Taken. Let's face it, we either bounce from here or we smash through hard and then end up creating a new low in about 3 hours. I mean, it's motoring down, isn't it? It's motoring down pretty hard. This obviously, this bounce from yesterday has ultimately been kind of fully eradicated now, hasn't it? Like, we have retraced all the Sunday gains, which obviously to those of you that have been around for a while is no surprise. We often do see Sundays as scam moves, whether that be up or down. But we're basically back to the starting point of Sunday, as you can see there. And that's obviously very aggressive selling. The S&P is obviously not helping as well, because that's putting a very wild upper wick on that 1 hour candle. But we've taken that low now. So obviously that will be a nice liquidity area on Bitcoin low time frame. So let's see. Obviously, the CME gap is definitely going to be filled now too. Definitely. It should definitely be filled. So we'll see, obviously, this play out over the next 10 minutes coming down to here. But that should be CME gap done if you was a CME gap watcher. Oh no, look who it is. It is ICT. Boiled chicken man. Yeah, he is the boiled chicken man, mate. You just disappear for ages at a time. You disappear and then just come back and then disappear again. Like, you came back after about a couple months for one day and then disappeared again. I don't know about anyone else, but I'd be fascinated to hear how ICT speaks. I wonder what type of voice he has. Getting a bit of lag on here. So yeah, let's see. This should obviously start pushing down with the data being delayed. And what we want to see now is obviously a strong bounce coming. We want to see strong absorption. And start pushing back up. Obviously, there's a lower time frame view for you. Obviously, big smackdown, heavy smackdown there. But we obviously want to see now that being a liquidity grab and then up, ultimate, or we do obviously start looking for potential more downside. But yeah, there's the CME gap going now, as you can see, because of the data delay. But that should close pretty nicely there. And this is putting in a good start, but plenty of work to do. I would want to see, obviously, this broken here, ideally. Kind of like break above this bit here that we've been sticking at. And then obviously start pushing above 87 towards 88 and kind of game on then, yeah. High and squeaky with a lisp for sure. You're from I can't remember where it was. Where is it? ICT? Is it like Denmark or somewhere like that? Bitcoin crying face. Yeah, is it like Denmark or something? I feel like it's like Denmark or somewhere around there. Maybe not. Or maybe Norway. Is it Norway? Norway, there you go. Norway, bang on. I don't know really what the Norway accent's like, to be fair. Can't picture it, but yeah. So that's what we've had on Bitcoin anyway, from the time that we've been streaming. We didn't really have anything, did we? And then we had a little bit of a sell-off moving into open. We then had a strong open candle, then fully retraced, smack down like pure Big Show standard. For those of you that was watching WWE as a child, pure Big Show, smack down, bang. But obviously, can we put in now a reversal to show that was just a liquidity grab, kind of push down on open to then open up the door for higher? We'll have to see throughout this afternoon. But yeah, thank you very much for joining me on this stream. It's been a pleasure. Make sure, of course, like, subscribe, sign up to Stonksy, 50% off the annual plan. So yeah, 50% off the annual plan. The discount code for that is BLACK50 in capitals. Link to the website is in the description. Of course, want anywhere to trade, sign up to BLOFIN. And yeah, why does the line change from red to green? Because they are automated SR lines. So obviously, if it's a key level, you drop below it, it then becomes resistance. If you are above it, then obviously it's supporting it. So yeah, on different time frames, obviously, you'll see them change and stuff like that. But yeah, because obviously, Stonksy sees this as a key level on the 5 minute. So below it is obviously resistance and above it is support. But yeah, catch you all tomorrow and catch those of you in the Discord. You can get in the Discord, of course, by utilizing that 50% off code and getting in there. Bye for now.